first question is, what can be the reason as to why a man hides his real age?
Give me another one.
Hi, it's your girl Red Rose Ever Missionary, and I'm excited that you are joining us wherever you're watching us from. It's a good evening, good morning, good night, and good afternoon to you wherever you are. So in case you're joining us for the very first time, this is BBC, which is Beauty with Brains and Character. For the ladies, or for the gents, we call it Bravery with Brains and Character. So basically, we believe that your beauty, your bravery, your brains can take you before any king, any queen, any influential person, but it's actually your character that will sustain that elevation. The Bible says the gift to bring you before kings and queens, okay? But what do you do when you are there? Let character sustain you when you're there. So today, first of all, let me allow my guest to introduce himself.
Not a guest anymore. I have become a permanent resident.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
His name is Ever Missionary Gabby GP, and I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much for finding the time to join us.
So it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Enjoying all the snacks and all that stuff.
And it's been a long time coming, right? Like, we've been doing videos for I don't know how many times, right? How did you find the experience?
Tiresome, but fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a pleasure to share some of our experiences throughout our relationship, to benefit the people that are looking for answers out there.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So in case you're joining us, in case you're watching this video, so you know, the first time we've released about 8 videos so far, and we have, I think, a couple of videos to release before we call it a short. And so if you're joining us for the very first time, I would like to just remind you that we had put up a post on Facebook to ask all the ladies to ask us questions about what causes them to have headaches, you know, where guys are concerned, you know what I mean? Because we know that these guys, you know, can cause a lot of headaches, heartaches,
and
stomach
you can cause stomach aches
and so on. So yeah, so if you did have an opportunity to ask all those questions, like the question that you have, unfortunately we closed, you know, because our guest is busy. So yeah, he just gave us this period to be with him. And obviously, you know, he's my husband of 7 years. I like to say I was Rosemary Zulu and he put a ring on it, and I'm now Rosemary Piri. And I thought of calling him to join me on set, not because he's my husband, alright, but this dude is loaded, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like he's loaded, he has, you know, a deep brain right there. But apart from that, apart from being loaded, he's obviously written a book on mastering the dynamics of love relationships, because he's had, you know, an opportunity to mentor different people who have gone on to get married and so on. So it's something that he does out of his passion.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us something about your book?
Yes, please. So in case you missed out on the last couple of episodes, you know, plug in, look them up. But if you're not satisfied, go get yourself one of these. Walk on to post.net at Manda Hill or Bread of Life bookstore. It's only $100. Or, you know, give me a call. Inbox Red Rose Ever Missionary. Inbox me. I'll hook you up.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Anything you'd like to say before we start?
Well, just to say that it's been an exciting journey, and like I said, fulfilling to pour out as much as possibly can to try and answer some of those questions that cause trouble in relationships. And so we're hoping that some things have been put in perspective, but hopefully today we get to throw the cherry on the cake and see how best we can wrap it all up. And also just position people for their next level.
Great. And I must say that we've received overwhelming testimonies from people about how these videos have really helped them. And that's the whole point. Like, we don't want you to struggle when, we went ahead of you. Why not just use the wisdom that we have? Why not use the experience? Why not use the grace upon our lives to just ride on whatever storms you have? Because you don't have to invent something that is already there. So continue to watch, and we can assure you your life will never be the same. Great. So we get to it.
Yes, please.
We get onto it. That's how they say it, isn't it?
Let's get into it.
Into it or onto it?
Whichever.
Okay. So anyway, so the first question is, what can be the reason as to why a man hides his real age?
Okay. So a man hiding his real age, that's embarrassing. Yeah, but well, it happens for a couple of reasons. The topmost reason is that could be that the man is younger than you.
Okay.
Yeah, because usually dudes have that ego thing going on, and they know that the moment that the lady finds out that she's older, it kind of brings a different dynamic in the relationship and a bit of pressure on the guy's end, okay, to try and balance the equation, because there's this it's both a scientific and psychological fact that ladies mature faster than men, and so you find that you may be age mates in terms of numbers, but realistically speaking, you find that the lady would actually be more responsible, more mature in the way they carry themselves, etc., etc. And it takes a bit of time for the guys to catch up. Laws of nature, you can't really argue against that. Of course, it's not etched in stone. There are some special cases. So that could be reason number one. He could be younger than you.
Okay. Sorry, on that one, I know you're answering that was reason number one, but
yes.
like obviously said, it's not it's not like, I don't know if it's I would say a fact. It's something that obviously people think, like people maybe have researched or something like that. But I remember that when I was younger as well, for me I think it was more cultural. When I was younger, I was told that you have to get married to a man that is at least 2 years older than you. So for me, like when I was looking for a dude, I had to, like, age was like a big thing, and I didn't, obviously, I didn't have this opportunity to listen to these videos. But so I was hoping to get married to someone who was at least 2 years older. And for me, actually, I didn't mind getting married to someone who is 10 years older or so, and so on, because I had that mentality that, an older man knows how to take care of, a woman. But then obviously, as I've grown, like, I think in as much as there's some sense, but I don't think it's, I don't think it's 100% true, because like you're less than 2 years older than me, right?
What do you mean less than 2 years older than you?
You're not more than 2 years older than me.
Of course.
Yeah, so you're like,
just checking. Yeah, I'm older than you, alright? Whether it's by a month, 2 days, I'm older than you.
So
Let's get that straight.
Of course, my love. Yeah, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is like I got married to a man that obviously is less than.
Yeah, but like I said, there are exceptions.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I wanted, in case there's someone out there thinking that,
like age is a big deal.
Yes, age is a big deal. For me, I think what is important is, in as much as it is a big deal, what is important is to understand the dynamics. So for example, if you have to have a man that is younger than you, like, are you cool with that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Are you
ready? Great. Are you ready for that? Like, because people will talk when they
Yeah.
find out, you know what I mean? Like, people will talk. I remember like watching a post that Heather Lindsay put on Facebook, and then she was talking about how her husband is 4 years younger than her, and the moment she put that, she put like a smiley face, you know. I'm sure she knows that people know that, you know, it's an issue, but for me, at the end of the day, I've met couples that, you know, I've gotten married to ladies that are older than them, and they're happily married. So for me, I think it's about preparation. If you want to find a man that is younger than you, make sure that you get the right counsel. You are cool with it, so that if society starts to talk about why you got married to a young man and so on, like you won't feel offended. You won't be disturbed. So anyways, we are saying reason number one is because it could be a man is younger than you.
Exactly. So it means that, you know, give it a bit of time. Eventually, you know, when you create the right environment, he will disclose, and it's really up to you to prepare for that conversation. You know, if he is really younger than you, how much younger is he than you, and, you know, are you ready for that sort of thing? Secondly, it could just be, you know, some guys are just secretive. They have their own reasons, you know, and so it's really about, I mean, everything in relationships when it comes to disclosing issues is really about how have you established, you know, your basic rules of communication. How much do you, you know, how much do you value being open and honest about each other? I mean, for you to ask this question, you know, it means that you are concerned about the age factor, you know. So why don't you create the environment that facilitates a healthy conversation around that? Could it be that you have expressed some sentiments about younger guys, you know, and so that has caused the brother to start, you know, second guessing himself. You know, I've heard her speak like this and speak like that. So what will happen if I tell her my real age? You know, so there's all of these what ifs in the conversation. You know, but at the end of the day, you want to create a healthy environment for conversation, whether it's about him being younger or he's just being secretive. You know, what have you done to facilitate open and honest communication? Because once you go down that road of open and honest communication, you know, this issue is going to be one of those small issues that you get to deal with. When bigger issues come your way, you would have created open and honest communication to facilitate that, you know, much needed discussion.
So what about if the dude continues to hide his age? What happens? Do you break up with him, or what do you do? Or you just go ahead and say, okay, you know, let me just throw that under the carpet and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is, it kind of ties into the entire conversation around, you know, the open and honest policy. There comes a time in a relationship where certain things should be kindergarten stuff.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Certain things should be, you know, matters of discussion.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't be seeing a guy for 2 years and he hasn't told you his age. You know, I would say break up with him for that flimsy reason. You know what I mean? Because at 2 years, you would have taken care of all those basics. You should be talking.
In fact, you talk about such things in friendships, isn't it?
That's it.
You know what I mean? Like when you're getting to know each other, how old are you? Which church do you go to? Blah blah blah, isn't it?
Exactly.
Great. So thank you for that. I hope you're learning. So the second question is, whenever I ask him about the future of a relationship, he says, I don't want to break my promises. So can I really tell, so I can't really tell you my plans concerning the relationship. So what does that really mean? So in short, she's saying that the guy doesn't really tell her plans for the relationship, you know. Like, so what would you advise a sister? Maybe she's watching.
Yeah, okay, so you're in a relationship with a guy and you're asking him about his plans and he's blank, okay? So maybe reason number one, he doesn't have a plan, okay? Sometimes it happens, you know, the brother finds himself, you know, fortunate enough to find a beautiful lady like yourself. He's excited, lo and behold, you're in a relationship and he did not have a plan. We've seen it happen at the highest level, you know. Some, well, I could go deeper, but you know, some people chilling out somewhere and lo and behold, they're given a position of authority and they don't have a plan whatsoever, you know, how to run things. You know, it happens all the time. Some dudes, you know, love experiments. You know, let me holler at this chick. You know, peradventure she will say yes, and boom, she says yes, and you didn't have a plan whatsoever. You know, so it's possible that he doesn't have a plan. So you know, that's quite concerning. You know, excuse me. So you want to work. What are your structures like? Are you accountable? Is this relationship accountable to anyone? Because then this conversation could come up in your you know, accountability systems. Whether it's accountable to mentors, accountable to your pastor, youth pastor, whatever it is, you know, at the end of the day, you know, there must be some checks and balances around all of that, because you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't know where they're going.
Yeah, true.
Okay, because then it borders on your safety, you know, your security. It's Miles Monroe that said, where the purpose of the thing is not known, abuse is inevitable.
Yes,
you know, so planless simply leads to or insinuates purposeless. Okay, so there must be, the individuals in the relationship must have a plan and a purpose. The relationship itself must have its own plan and purpose.
Great.
And to make matters even more concerning, him as the man in the relationship ought to be the head.
Yeah.
You know, the one that charts the
driver,
course. Exactly.
the one behind the wheels, you know.
That's it. Okay, so if he doesn't seem to have a plan, then we have a bit of a problem there.
Then where is he taking you?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, if hopefully it's just a phase, but if it persists, then you know you have cause for concern. You have the right to place a demand to have your answers, rather questions answered, etc. If that's not happening, then you are at liberty to make some drastic decisions, because that would be a good enough reason for you to say, listen, I don't think we're going anywhere in this relationship because I don't get any sense of direction, and therefore I'd like to drop the ball. You know, you have all the rights to do that, because that is critical.
Great.
Because it could lead you just about anywhere.
Yeah.
It could also be maybe sometimes guys feel a certain pressure when they are asked questions of this nature.
Pressure from who?
Pressure from the girl.
Okay.
So it could also be that maybe the way you are asking is insinuating, when are you marrying me?
Is it wrong to ask, when are you marrying me?
Well, it matters how you ask it. Because I mean, if the brother is in that space where he is able to communicate certain things, you know, he will intelligently communicate. Because obviously, I mean, if he's going to surprise you with a ring and all of that, you know, he doesn't want to be all out saying, you know, I have this plan of...
No, but at least you can say that, you know, I'm hoping that we can get together in 2 days.
Yes, that's what I meant, you know, by
where are we going?
Bits and pieces. You know, the brother will be able to communicate, but, you know, not where the woman in the relationship is the one, you know, always nagging and putting it at the top of the agenda. Say, I want to know, you know, when is this relationship graduating to the next level, you know, so that puts a lot of pressure on the guy. So for him to run away from the marriage conversation, he will say, I'm not ready to discuss that subject matter. Okay, so that is also possible.
Okay.
But so it calls for a lot of wisdom
okay.
In how you carry some of these conversations. You know, let this conversation be a part of the many other healthy conversations that you have, and that way it's going to flow naturally out of the guy. That's why I say it calls for a lot of wisdom in that space.
So I strongly believe that if a man is mentored, he should be able to answer such questions.
Yes.
You know, because I don't see the reason why you want to have a woman and, you know, in an undefined relationship. For me, I think if there's effective communication, even if I ask you whatever questions, you should be in a position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I believe that by the time we're in a relationship, we would have built that friendship.
Exactly.
You know, like you said, like kindergarten questions, like you get to know each other and so on. Yeah. So that once you start, you should be able to sort of talk about pretty much everything. Exactly. Because if the guy can't talk about, you you know, where it's taking you. Would even tell you how much it gets paid.
There you go. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyways, I hope you got something from that. So the other questions are on social media. He says we shouldn't be posting pictures of us on social media, which I respected. Now, what surprises me is that he will only post my picture for a few minutes, then deletes it. He will call me, check your status. Upon seeing it, then he deletes it. What makes him do that? Most of the times he posts the picture on Facebook, I don't comment. Then the other day I commented when he posted, you know, I commented lovely when he posted, then he neither liked it nor commented on it. I asked him why, because others have comments, like ladies, you know.
Yeah.
You know, he commented on, like, the ladies who commented, like, they had reactions, and he replied, he didn't say anything. Then I told him there's no need to be there's no need of being friends then, and then I unfriend him. What can be the reason behind that? Okay,
so by that unfriend him, I'm guessing it's unfriend him on Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so there's the couple lines there, and then you say what makes him do that. You make him do that. Okay, so you sound to me like you have a particular interest in social media, and these are some of the dynamics that relationships come with. You find that there are two individuals in a relationship. One person is very social media driven, whereas the other person is a little bit reserved. So
like me, like I'm a bit reserved, and you are like
very true, 100%. Yeah. So sometimes these dynamics are influenced by certain inclinations that people have, certain experiences that people have, certain observations about social media that people have. Okay, people have different views of social media. Okay, so for him to say we shouldn't be posting our pics on social media, you haven't told us the reason. Okay, so I'm sure he's communicated why he doesn't want that to happen. Okay, if he hasn't communicated, then you should be asking why he doesn't want photos posted on social media. Some people don't want photos posted on social media because they don't want the relationship to be public. Is that the reason he has given you? Sometimes people don't want the relationship to be public, but they will not tell you that they don't want the relationship to be public. Okay, so you must then create a healthy conversation environment for conversation around that. Okay, if he really doesn't want the relationship to be public, you know, then you need to also establish the why. Once you establish the why, it's going to guide the decisions that you make.
What about if he doesn't tell you the why?
That's why I'm saying you need to create a healthy environment for that conversation, okay, to lead there. Okay, it could also be that he's seen your behavior on social media and he hasn't come to a place where he has openly communicated to you to say, well, I have seen how busy you are on social media and I don't think I'm ready for that kind of exposure. Okay, they're just certain individuals that they don't put themselves out there like that. They are uneasy about putting themselves out, whether it's themselves or it's their partner. You know, so could it be that you are all in into social media and he's a little bit concerned that maybe you might not be drawing the line between what should be public and what should be private? Could that be the reason? You know, you might want to introspect. That whole behavior around he posts, then calls me, and he's doing that for you. Okay, because you've placed a certain demand, so he wants to show that there is some activity that he is doing for you because you've placed a particular demand. But remember, all of that is just surface stuff. You know, there's somewhere where it is coming from. So it's all, for me, it's all around communication. Okay, create a healthy environment. It seems to me that there are demands that you are placing without properly understanding, you know, where he's coming from and all of that. Take a chill pill, pause for a bit, you know, don't fuss about what he posts, what he doesn't comment about, etc., etc. Pause for a bit and start having the conversations that could be underlying everything else that you are seeing on the surface. You know, how do you feel about our relationship? How do you feel about people knowing about our relationship? How many people have you told about our relationship? I'm sure, I don't know how long you've been seeing this gentleman, I'm sure you can have a rough idea of how many people has he introduced you to, how many people has he told about you, etc., etc.